In the austere amphitheater of a New York federal courtroom, where echoes of empire-building anthems clash with the cold clank of correctional calculus, Judge Arun Subramanian delivered a denunciation that cut deeper than any diss track. Sean Diddy Combs, the hip-hop hierarch once crowned king of the culture, evinced no ember of empathy in the ashes of his acquittal-adjacent convictions. Sentencing on prostitution-related felonies, transporting ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura and another pseudonym-shrouded paramour, Jane, across state lines for commercial Congress, unfolded not as redemption's refrain but as a requiem for remorse, the bench branding Combs' courtroom comportment as a challenge to culpability itself. Acquitted in July on the colossus of racketeering and sex trafficking titans, he nonetheless navigated a nexus of narrative where freak-off testimonies and hotel hustle horrors haunted the hearing, Subramanian wielding witness words as a scalpel to slice through the defendant's defiant demeanor. This wasn't mere adjudication, it was an autopsy of arrogance, the judge's words a warning that power's pedestal crumbles under the weight of unacknowledged wounds. Subramanian's salvo struck at the heart of Combs' character contestation. "You challenged your factual guilt," the jurist intoned, his timbre a thunderclap in the tense tranquility, and showed no remorse for these crimes. The prostitution counts, twin pillars of the prosecution's pared-down pursuit post-acquittal, weren't isolated incidents but insidious threads in a tapestry of coercion. Ventura and Jane ensnared in scenarios scripted by Combs' clout, ferried from fantasy suites to transactional trysts under threats of tangible terror. Bodily harm loomed as the unspoken specter, force's phantom fueling the felonies, victims veiled yet vivid in their violation. The judge, a Obama appointee with a reputation for rigorous equity, reframed the acquitted atrocities as contextual crimson. Racketeering's rubble, though rubble, reinforced the relevance, freak-off orgies, marathon bacchanals bankrolled by Combs, blending bravado with brutality, emerging as emblematic exhibits. 7 escorts, spectral figures in the saga, were enshrined as sufferers, their servitude solicited for soirees where consent curdled into captivity. The hearing's harmony, or lack thereof, hinged on this remorseless rift. Combs, attired in atonement's apparel yet absent authentic apology, sat stoic as the scales tipped toward severity. Prosecutors, paragons of prosecutorial persistence, parried the defense's bid for benevolent witnesses, a parade of personality attestations from pastor and progeny, protesting it would protract the pain, eclipsing victims' voices with vouchsafes from the vested. "This isn't a character cameo," one ADA argued, advocating for austerity in allocution, it's accountability for the afflicted. Subramanian, threading the needle of nuance, permitted a paired pair, Combs' children, cherubic choristers of his paternal portrait, and a clergyman whose counsel cloaked contrition in communal context. Yet, the judge's JAQs on apology's absence animated the arena, underscoring a defendant who danced around damnation rather than diving into its depths. Combs' Criminal Chronicle, a compendium of controversy from clubland conquests to courtroom conquests, contextualizes the critique. Bad Boy's baptism in the 90s, Biggie's brooding bars, Maze's melodic mischief, minted him mogul, but the millennium's marred with murmurs. 1999's nightclub shooting shadow, Ventura's 2023 video vindication of 2016's hallway horror. The freak-offs, phantasmagoric fates fusing pharmaceuticals and power plays, ballooned into the indictment's backbone. Combs as conductor of chaos, compensating companions for compliance in hotel hells that blurred boundary and brutality. 7 such sirens, summoned for sin-soaked sessions, stood as the sentencing's silent saints, their subjugation a stain Subramanian spotlighted. "You organized these events, paid the escorts and bear responsibility for the conduct." The acquittal on trafficking's thunder, a jury's judicious jettison, didn't jaundice the judge's judgment. It amplified the ancillary atrocities, prostitution's procurement a proximate poison. Ventura's visage, though veiled in the verdict, vaulted through the verbiage, her 2023 suit settlement a seismic shift, the grainy grain of that elevator encounter etching eternal evidence. Jane, the Jane Doe of juridical jargon, joined as corroborative chorus, their cross-state caravans a carnal commerce Combs captained. The defense, dogged by Agnifalo's alacrity, angled for absolution via afterthoughts. Therapy transcripts, tithe tallies, a titan tamed. But Subramanian's scrutiny scuttled such slights, his gavel's shadow a gauntlet to genuine grief. The children's cadence, tear-tinged tales of daddy's devotion, and pastor's plea for parabolic pardon punctuated the proceeding, yet paled against the prosecution's poignant push, victims' valor vindicated, not veiled by vouchsafes. This remorseless revelation ripples through rap's reckoning, a genre grappling with its gods' grapples, R. Kelly's ruins, Bill Cosby's collapse, Combs' cautionary coda. His empire from Sean John seems to Ciroc Cascades, endures embargoed, but the bench's bite bespeaks a broader bind, black brilliance burdened by bias, yet unexcused by it. Subramanian's stance, stern yet surgical, signals scrutiny spectrum, where acquittal's afterglow doesn't absolve ancillary ashes. As the hearing hushed, Combs' countenance, composed, contesting, crystallized the conundrum. Moguls mend or mar in mirrors of mercy, but without remorse's reflection redemption rings hollow. In the courtroom's closing chords, the judge's judgment, unapologetic in its unveiling of the unapologetic, etched an epitaph for empire's end. Combs, conductor of cultures, confronts consequences crescendo, freak-offs, fading to footnotes, victims' voices vaulting victorious. Remorse's absence? A rap sheet refrain, echoing eternally injustice's unyielding underscore.